Manchester United losing 2-1 to Brighton. How unlucky can you possibly get? I'm telling you, this is the single time you will see that this season. You will never see that again. The ball was going in. Man United would have been 2-1 up, and we looked good and we looked confident. We looked strong at that point in time when we made the changes, and it worked. Zirzkee was sliding in for the ball. His momentum brought him up. Oh, for goodness sake, man. How unlucky can you get? However, how awful do you want to defend? For both goals, if I'm being totally honest, but that one there at the end. Everybody concentrating on the ball, shifting across, not looking at the back stick. For João Pedro to knock it in. Brighton win 2-1. United could have and should have won that game. And I'm telling you, I'm going to go back to that again. That is just insane. The ball was going in. It comes off his knee. Zirzkee didn't do anything wrong. United did a lot wrong in that game. But ultimately, I feel like we should have won it. But it was the woeful defending which really cost us in that game. All right? Maguire letting the ball go past him, I found that really, really strange for the first goal. Letting the ball go past him, goes out to Matoma, comes back in. Welbeck. Of course it's Welbeck. Has there been another former United player who's hurt us more than Welbeck? I don't really know. But it feels like it, there isn't. And that was the goal. And then the switch off at the end. When it was 7 minutes of stoppage time and they brought on, who did they bring on? Adingra. They brought on their new 40 mil signing. It felt like they were going to push, and they did. And they got the goal. All right. Second half, Brighton were dominant up until the equaliser. Then United looked in real control, and it was there, and it was 2-1. And I'm going to say it again. It's just so many people are now going to sort of like rip apart everything that United had in that game. I'll be honest. I'm not going to rip it apart, but there are quite a few things that needed to be changed in that game. All right. Very surprised that Ten Hag took Bruno off. Has that ever happened before? I don't really know. But given that Brighton were playing that high line, we had like a fresh Garnacho on. Something that annoyed me was United simply didn't play enough passes in behind the fullbacks of Brighton. That was where it was a threat the whole game. Offside trap, they were playing well. Ahmad, that just, it kind of just pissed me off. It felt unlucky for the fact that happened, but ultimately, how can I say it was unlucky when the 2 goals we conceded were simply down to our own defensive lapses? Delot just switching off, coming inside, not looking at the man behind him. But Erik Ten Hag, right, he is going to have to find a balance that right now isn't there in the team, all right? Last season, we got ripped apart, shredded, because we had no midfield. Teams would just walk through us. Now, he's found a way to shore that up. And I'll speak about Ahmad next. But he's found a way to shore that up by playing Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as the 2 false nines. Gives us a much stronger base out of possession, harder to play through, and far more secure and compact as a team. However, it's taking away from our threat in attack. Bruno and Mount starting there, not having that focus point. And I'll be honest, in the first half, both Ahmad and Rashford were awful. Ahmad, can I just take a moment to say incredible mental resilience for him. His stepmother passed away sadly yesterday, and he scored that goal. I don't think it was the best performance from him overall, but given the circumstances, I think you can understand why. He stayed on for 90 minutes. Again, I was surprised at that. All right? I think we're going to have to see Zirzkee start against Liverpool. In fact, it's not really a thing. Zirzkee is going to have to start against Liverpool. And I don't really know how you can get Rashford in that team either. It's a couple of games. There's only so many, no, it's not excuses, but leeway, I suppose, you give players. But when you've got Garnacho knocking on the door, who in both games where he's played has been a threat, a direct threat in both games, and kind of switched it up when Zirzkee came on and when Garnacho came on, but when United switched it up. And as I said, we started getting balls in behind their fullbacks. I don't know why we weren't doing that enough. I think Ten Hag's had to take a little bit of criticism for bringing Bruno off. I just felt like it was a strange choice. But if there's anybody or any part of our team that's going to take criticism today, it has to be our defence. Those goals, both of those goals, completely avoidable. With smarter, better defending. Maguire, there's no way that he should have let that ball go across him. Get that out for the corner. Lesser danger. Instead, he let it run over. And the chance should never have existed. And at the end there, for Man United, there's nobody within like 7 or 8 feet of João Pedro standing there, completely in no man's land. And an easy, well, it wasn't an easy goal, but pretty much. And I'm going to say it again. Now, people might think I'm going overboard with this. I really don't think I am. United, in the second half, Brighton were on top until that goal from Ahmad. And as soon as that goal from Ahmad went in and Garnacho came on the pitch, United had that 10-minute period where we were easily on top. And the goal was so well worked from back to front. Bruno and Ahmad and the ball across. And it's just so unlucky for Zirzkee that the momentum that he already had, was it the momentum from the pass from Bruno that then went across him because he couldn't reach it? He's already then in the way. The ball was already going in, man. If he wasn't there, it was a goal. It's 2-1. We may well and probably would have won the game. But I can't believe... Look, there's going to be questions about Maguire. There's going to be questions about Dalot. Man United at the end of games... We used to be the kings at it, man. I don't know how many late goals there's been against us now in these last few years. But the switch off, boy, right? I know people try and say I've got a Casemiro agenda, but he looked like Uncle Casemiro in the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of that game. He was lunging everywhere. He was, oh my God, it was painful. We need Ugarte in that team badly. He can start games strongly, but he can't finish games strongly anymore. And that's just the age thing, and that's just the way that's just the way that the Premier League football is. But Erik ten Hag, I don't think got it completely spot on today. All right. I understood why he named an unchanged 11. But I think we've seen enough evidence now. I'll be honest, like there was chance in the first half, the Dalot cross to Ahmad, but it feels like there's a little bit too much taken away from the creative side of things by playing those two false nine. I think the 2-false-9 system can work if you play the right personnel. I don't think it will work if you play with Mount and Bruno. I think it's one of Mount or Bruno, and that's an easy decision. It's Bruno Fernandes, and it's Bruno and it's Zirzkee starting together. And I think it's Garnacho coming in for the game against Liverpool. Right? I'll be honest, like last season, there was no control. There was more control there today. I thought we were the bigger threat in the first half, but we didn't have the chances. I mean, any chance we did have, the finishing wasn't there. But two things that really just pissed me off today. One, how unlucky can you get? Two, how awful do you want your defending to be? Brighton, 2-1 winners. We won the first game of the season, and it was Zirzkee who made the difference. I think Zirzkee and Garnacho both coming off the bench made the difference there today, and I think that really kind of shows you that the tweak has to happen to the starting 11 now. But United, maybe when we do those changes, they're going to be more open in midfield. It's just like, what do you want? 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. I hate conceding late goals, especially like that.